Hey there, Dark Star here. Doing some simulated outage of some flavor or another. So I'm going to try not to use the controls. So we'll be able to see the controls here. I'm going to jump on to Discord. Alright, we're on Discord now. At least anyone wants to join and chat. Windows Control T to pin our chat to the top so I can see it. Okay, so I'm going to try not to move the controls here. And what we're going to try to do is make our way back to the airport. Not the airport ahead of us, but the one we left behind. So we took off over here. And we're going to try to fly back over that way. We're going to try to come in here. So let's make a left turn. And I think I'm going to put this up over here. Uh-oh. Streaming. I keep forgetting to change the picture. Dang it. Ah, that closes the window. Okay. Oh, this should work. Okay. So I do not have things trimmed out currently. I only have my throttle trimmed out. So I've just adjusted my throttle to be in a slight climb here. And we're going to use some of that power right now to make our left turn here. So what we're going to do is left rudder just gently. We don't want to spin out of control here. Okay, it helps if I actually put the mouse on this window, I guess. Okay. So by using that left rudder, we've both banked the plane, and of course the left rudder will make it yaw around to the left in a not very coordinated fashion, but we're only turning slowly, so. We just need to modulate the amount of bank with a little right rudder occasionally, perhaps. We can turn a little faster, I think. And the other thing I need to watch is my vertical speed here. So I'm still climbing, even though I'm turning. I was thinking it would even out, but we're not turning very much. So I'm backing off on the RPMs a little bit because I don't want to climb too much out here. I've been climbing for a while, so I'm going to actually need to descend. Now I'm not going to try to land this way, although in theory you possibly could. Especially if you had some elevator trim, but it would not be pretty, I think. Okay. So let's back off on that RPM a little bit more. And we want to go to a descent no more than probably 400 or 500 feet per minute right now. Now, of course, as we descend, the airplane's going to pick up speed, and it's going to start to climb again. So So it's going to kind of seesaw there a bit. You can reduce that a little bit by modulating the power to get it into a stable descent. Or you could do what I did and make small changes and let it just kind of seesaw for a little bit, and it'll kind of find its own near stability, maybe not perfect. All right, so we're making progress here. We've already made a 180 and we're heading back towards the airport. It's over there on the left, actually, over here. We are up in Iceland. Little right rudder. I'm gonna, well, I don't know. I'm gonna add a little bit more power in. Just a little bit at a time here. Looks like we have someone taking off. Alright, that's lessened our descent to about 200 feet per minute now. If you had to land and you could get lined up and do a 200 foot per minute descent, you might make it. But it would be challenging to get down right where you needed to be, right? Because you don't have fine control with your power. If you had a glide slope that you could follow in a long ways, that would help. But the problem is glide slopes, glide paths tend to be about 3 degrees and a 400 foot per minute descent. You could follow that in and maybe get a little below it and then kind of shallow out at the end and try to touch down a little more gently. But that'd be about it. So I'll get as close as I can to the airport and we'll see what happens here. To be honest, I don't even know. I don't know this airport elevation or anything. I think it's pretty low. 143 feet, yeah. Still would be pretty hard to time it. You'd have to know your distance really well and be way better at those computations than I am. Alright, we're kind of leaning over to the left a little bit. Right now it's okay. I'm gonna keep an eye on it. Would be a pretty terrifying situation to be in on the whole, I think. And I don't think it would make sense to try to use flaps. We could. I don't know, we have no elevator control. We would be limited to only power adjustments. Okay, we're about 1,000 feet. This might actually not be too bad. Let's shallow that out just a hair until we find where the runway is here. I think I'm going to start my turn. And turning always consumes some of your airplane energy, so I added in a little more power there. But I don't think I want to climb. Okay, I see a runway over there. Let's definitely not descend too fast here. One thing I would want to do is have a real good sense of exactly what RPM setting in this configuration did what to the airplane. Like, I have a little hard time seeing the gauge here. I'm sure everybody else does too. But it looks like we're at about 1900. We want to know the power setting that gives us like almost level flight so that we can kind of level out and come in. I'm definitely I'm already low, so I'm gonna come in low. Be kind of amusing if we can actually manage to get this thing on the runway at all. Okay, I'm adding in some power while we're low here. I think about 19.5 or so is going to be our level flight. At least what looks like it to me. Okay, that's even a little bit of a climb. Head over here a little bit. Of course, we would be declaring an emergency if we had no controls. And we would definitely want a big runway like this. This is a... Okay, pulling the power back out. Not too much. But especially in the smaller GA planes, it's probably a good exercise to work on your rudders. Because if you've got a little bit of a drift and you've got rudder pedals, you could just, you know, a little bit of pressure on the rudder pedal might even you out if you're working on that. Adding some power in here because we're getting about on the glide slope, which is actually not probably what I want. Okay, I'm letting it turn too much here. Need to get back over to the left a hair. And of course, if you had a strong crosswind, this would probably be a disaster. Yeah, I'm going long here. And we're gonna come down hard. Or we're gonna take back off, I guess. That's bounce and a crunch. Yeah, it would be very, very hard to land that way. I tried to descend a little bit faster and then even it out, and then I lost control of it. So I should have just gone down the runway and let it, you know, stay at that 100 or 200 feet per minute until I got all the way down. But let's see if we can take off. what I don't want to do is get so much speed that I shoot my nose up in the air there. Okay. And we will try to fly a little bit of a pattern-ish. Okay, we're pointed a little out from the runway. We're not quite lined up for a downwind. I want to go out a little bit wide, I think, so that we have time to get lined up again. Okay, so it looks to be a little over 2,000 RPM. A little bit of a climb. Right at about 2,000 maybe if we're even. Now I have no flaps in, you can see that over here. Okay, now we want to. Got traffic on our right somewhere. That's the first time I've ever tried to do that, so we would have all died, but we made it back to the airport. Okay, I'm gonna back out just a little bit more power and see if we can level out here before we turn. All right, let's make our left. And we don't want to be too violent with this. We can start descending a little bit, but I'm going to add in a little power. Okay. So the airport's still going to be over to the right here a ways. We need to come in over the water about along in here where these things are. Maybe even to the right of those. So we got good visibility on it now. Okay, this time we're gonna get on a glide. We're gonna get on a slope, whatever it is, get stable, get our descent rate low, and we're gonna ride it out all the way over the airport. And if we're missing it, then we'll just do a go around. I'm starting to walk just little tiny bits of power out. Alright, there is our target. Okay, we got about a 200 foot per minute descent going now. Just trying to stay roughly in front of it here. Okay, I feel like we're a little low. I'm gonna add just a little bit of power. Okay. And I'm pulling just that same little bit of power out, just like tiny little movements, and then kind of letting it decide where it's going to be. All right, that wasn't even too bad. That says minus 50 feet per minute. 1.2 G though, I'm not sure how this thing actually works. One, it very much disagrees with, well, not very much, but it disagrees with Neofly's landing data. So that makes me think there isn't a definitive touchdown event that happens. Oh, okay. Well, we did a whole, almost like a crashing touch and go, looped around, came back in, managed to land. I would say, and I have this as a general flying fault because I fly simulators so much, but I tend to not do go-arounds. I'm like, there's the airport, I'm landing, and it really takes something serious for me to abort and do a go-around. Way too often. I'm just gonna taxi off the runway here in case someone else wants to land, even though I'm not technically in their physical way. Just seems polite. Curious to see what's over here. Anyway, give it a shot. You know, get in the air, get stable. Practice turning with just rudder, assuming you have some kind of rudder pedals or something. And then, you know, use your throttle to climb a little, descend a little. .737 action there. I gotta say, the rudder pedals took a lot of getting used to after using the hand twist. I'm just starting to feel slightly more comfortable with them. Thought that was a motorcycle there for a minute. This plane must have really, really good bearings because it is just rolling across this field like crazy. Alright, let's find somewhere to park for a minute. I'm going to take a little pilot break. And we will find another activity. So one thing I was thinking about doing was like a Saab flight from Iceland over to, I don't know, Switzerland, not Switzerland, maybe Norway or something, somewhere not too far. But it was going to be like almost 3 hours. So I was like, should I pick a faster plane? Should I pick a shorter route? And I was a little disappointed with Iceland. Doesn't look like they've really done a whole lot there. So trying to think of what to do next while I'm working on dinner. I could just do some more pattern work. So what do you think? What are your thoughts? What are you working on? I do like doing a little pattern work, maybe practice on the crosswind landings or something. Work on side flips. Probably either switch to the Piper, although it's a tail dragger. Not super fond of them. My friend likes it, so I got one, so we could fly two. The 152 is okay, but maybe one of those other Cessnas. But first, I have to get this spaghetti out of here. In the event of a water landing. Maybe I should do a cooking show next. Hear sounds of cooking. cooking podcast. The chef today has chosen San Marzano tomatoes. Right? Oh, I haven't played City Skylines before. Let's see. Ah, cool. Used to play lots of SimCity back in the day. Have you been watching Last of Us? Ah, shoot. Please don't make me start over. So I got caught all caught up on my Last of Us. I've not yet played Last of Us 2. I'm trying to decide if I want to play it or just watch the show. Might be HBO Max, which I think is now just Max. I have confirmation it is on Max. Let's get a little daylight in here. To live weather, but nothing changed. low pressure here. We have Yankee. So if the wind is out of the south, we should be taking off the other way. Scoot to the other end of the runway, see if I can find a windsock. Too far. No windsock or anything? I'm trying to think. Yeah, the wind's out of 200, which would be this way, so we want to take off that way. Maybe they don't normally use this runway because it runs into a mountain. I think this is one of the aviator planes. Wish we had a windsock. All right, we got prop pitch. Mixture, there we go. Flaps. Something I've been doing more lately is if you hold down the right Alt key, this will turn into a plus and you can click it and pop that out into another window that you can resize and put on your other monitor. Or like an instrument view. Works with most of the glass instruments. We have a retractable landing gear, but we'll try it. Yeah, pretty handy. Okay, so we want to stay headed down the runway here, but we want to slip to the right. Or am I slipping to the left? I don't know. I guess I'm going more left. Okay, I need to think about this properly. Aileron, the direction you want to slip, and then you rudder to stay pointed forward. So let's try this again. Okay, so we're well to the right of the runway, so we want to aileron to the left and rudder to the right. And we're going to need more power. trying to side slip to the left here. It's not working real well in this plane, I feel like. We are scooching over slowly, but not as much as I would expect. Okay, let's try another plane. I'm just gonna switch. That other plane, it's really weird. We'll see if this one does it. It was almost like digital, if that makes sense. Like it would step, 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 step. It wouldn't turn smoothly like this. It would go dut, 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 dut. Okay, so we are to the right. So we want to aileron left and rudder right. Climb here, we want to descend. Yeah, and see how much faster we're going to the left here? transition. Buffeted around out here a little bit. That's nice. Just using this giant cruise liner here as a turning point. Starting off to the left now, so we want to aileron to the right and rudder to the left. Well, now I feel like we're off to the right, so we want to go that way. We'll keep the nose pointed down the runway, more or less. Let's take some power out and do a steeper descent here. There we go. Okay, let's go to the left. And then to the right. And then to the left. Very smooth, that one. And of course, you'd never do this in real life because because it's too dangerous. I mean, you'll do side slips, just not hovering over the runway side to side. Trying to build that hand-eye foot coordination though. Alright, ease out of that. Wonder what it would be like to live here. Probably a lot more like snow. Uh-oh. I'm host. Did we have a... Okay, we don't. First of all, let's stop diving towards the ground here. Let's see if we can get on a nice steady... Yeah, the clouds are inside too. It'll obscure your view of the... Okay, so now we need to know what course we want to set. We want runway 90, so 186, I guess? Anything here. Do we have the right frequency? Sorry, 114.8. Yeah, that's the right one. All right, I'll see ya. Ah, it's down, it's this one. All right, we're at 1,000 feet. We're in a slight climb. We are below the glide slope now. And we're off to the right. So let's do a little bit of a right turn. Start like a teardrop. And just remind my brain. 186 is what we should be on. Okay, we want to stop climbing so much. I'm going to take a little bit of power out here. Much. And we're going to start our turn to the right. I'm seeing some ground there. Hope we don't hit a mountain. So trying to make sure we're on a good trajectory here, not too much. I'd rather be climbing right now because I'm below the glide slope and I don't want to smack into the ground. But watching that, and then we're going to be turning to 186 here roughly and see where we are there. Trying to intercept the glide slope. We got to keep turning. Okay, there's our needle. So about like that. Okay, and we are diving. We don't want to do that, and we don't want to balloon up either. Okay, oh, now we want to get on that 186. Oh man, I'm gonna die. Okay, I'm gonna take a little more power out. I need to turn to 186. Descending here. All right, there's our glide slope. Okay, 400 feet per minute is our target. I think the extra challenge here is that you have no sense of motion, right, as you're turning or anything. Okay, we're above the glide slope. Let's take a little bit of power out. There we go. A little bit more power. Up to the right here, we need to turn back to the left. 600 feet. Okay, now we're descending too fast. There we go. Now we need to turn back. We turned way too much. Here comes our glide slope. I'm gonna add a little bit of power in. We're still high. And off to the left a little. Little adjustments now. Oh, there's the runway. Alright, gonna get some flaps down. I've lost the runway. Okay. Oh, we're gonna die. Okay, it's a long runway. We're gonna use it. Ooh. Gotta be careful when those storms come in. Go away. Hey, we got a ground crew waiting for us. Nice. Hey, we survived. I didn't think we were gonna there for a minute. I got sight of the runway and then I lost it. I'm like, I'm completely blinded right now. Victory! Ka-thunk. Let's see, what do we have on here? Strobe off. Nav off. Or did I just turn those on? No, those are off. Okay, taxi off. And landing lights off. Nope, that's on. And beacon off. Okay, there we go. Turn our key off. Master alternator and battery. Oh, we didn't get the flaps up. Aircraft covers and chocks. We have any? Hey, we do. Okay, so we got pitot cover, front chocks, engine cover. That says pitot cover. Oh. Does all that come off in one? Yeah. Interesting. It's not a bad little Cessna. I wonder how much all the Cessnas are just clones of each other where the instruments moved around a little and tweaked the engine performance and stuff like that. Can I control controls from out here? Nope, you cannot. It's like moving the throttle doesn't move the throttle in the plane. Oh yeah, this is a fun little place I've flown in and out of a few times. We just go get in another plane? Why not? Be kind of fun. So I wonder if we flew in with a proper plane. Something with ILS. We could potentially do the Saab. I do like to fly that. Don't know why exactly. Could even just do the Kodiak maybe. Anyone know how to say this? Akureyri. Akureyri. Wonder how far that is. 18 minutes, 44 nautical miles. Is that on the same island? Can't tell. Yes, it is. Okay. So let's try another arrival point. Okay, so we'll be taking off out over the water. Let's do that one. Makes more sense to me. inbound. I don't know, you think we can do an RNAV? What do these RNAVs look like? Like, I think the way these work is you come in here and then you have to find your own way into there. And you end up like probably flying down here and turning at the end. Wish they had a real like all the way down to the runway kind of thing. Let's see if any of these others do. BIRK. Okay, that has an ILS. Okay, so into ATC and avionics. Now let's at least do daylight. think these work though. Sometimes you can interact with it. I don't know why it's doing this. We might have trouble with the autopilot. We gotta fix our rudder. There we go. That will pull me completely off the runway once I get going. I don't know why they've changed the default on that. Could go this way. Select a departure. Ah, crud. BIAR is our airport. Alright, let's pull up some departures here. I like Akureyri 1 Alpha. Okay. Problem is we don't want this Kodiak anymore because we're going to go around that way. So let's delete that one, enter. I think the rest is all on the arrival side. have to do that or something? Never had to do that before, but okay. Okay, so we need to be 2,300, 3,700, 5,800, and then we'll see how we're doing. Okay, so we want to, let's at least climb out to our 5,800. We'll probably climb, I'm sure we're going to climb higher. Okay, we'll double check our altimeter. And let's see how it goes. Sure, controls are free and clear. Mostly because I have stuff all over my desk, so I actually need to check to make sure I have the clearance. Steal a copy of these over here. Uh-oh. Annoying. Okay, there we go. Now this also says max of 165 knots. So we will try and meet that. We are a single prop plane today. We definitely want to get our pitot heat on, and we're gonna go anti-de-icing. We'll turn our ice lights on. Okay, and I think everything else is set. Torque set without going too hot. Uh-oh, we got some wind here. Terrible, 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 terrible. Nose about 5 degrees up for now. Hey, welcome back. I landed. I think is our best climb. We're getting a little fast, but I think I actually want to pick up a little speed. I don't want to descend though. But I want to get like maybe about 140. And let's bring our flaps up. That will help. And of course we're fixed gears, so we're not going to do that. I didn't die in the landing, I made it back. I followed the BIAR back, BIAR. Well enough, not great. Okay, that's way too hot, way too pitchy. We're getting a little to the right of our course here. So doing a left turn. We've got a left turn coming up. We need to be at 2,300 feet. We are not there yet. So we're going to add a little more power. A little more pitch. As long as we stay over 100, we're fine. Okay, there's 2,300. Try and get a little bit back on course and let that speed pick up again a little bit. Like I said, I'd like to be about 140, so I'm not like on the fork, I think. Alright, here comes our left turn. Left, 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 left. There's 20 degrees of bank, that'll be plenty. That was the problem. I thought I already got the flaps up. I did the wrong way. That was flaps down. That's why it started beeping. Okay. Alright, there's our turn. Okay, flaps are up now. Goodness gracious. Okay. I'm like, why is my speed dropping? Intercepting that course. And we're climbing to 3,700 by this next waypoint. We are already well above that, so we're good. Speed below 65 knots. We're good there. As long as we're climbing, we can keep our throttle up and our speed down. Would like to climb up out of these clouds at some point. I don't know what that's going to take. Alright, a little bit of a left turn here. I'm just going to do like a 10-degree bank because I'm inside the turn right now. So we are almost at that top of climb, which I set so that, because that gets us out of the departure. So as long as we hit that mark, we're good for that last departure waypoint as well, and we are. I believe our speed restriction is gone as well. Yeah, no more speed restriction. We're going to want to turn left to 204 up here. We're going to ease back on the power just a little. And back down to about 5 degrees pitch. And now we can let our speed pick up. Still want to climb, I'm not sure how high. Let's do a little autopilot action here for a minute. Now let's get through this turn. Like I said, turn left to 204. Not yet though. I don't see any color on our terrain warning system. A relative terrain map anyway, whatever it is. There's 214. Okay, there's about 204. I want to descend here. I don't want to super climb yet. Hold right there for a minute. Okay, so we look clear for the path, so we can hold at this altitude, I guess. So I'll try and hold about 8,000. Pull a little bit of power out. Starting to see a little bit of something beyond the clouds there. Maybe we should climb a little more. Maybe we can get out of these clouds. Let's go ahead and climb to, I don't know, 10,000. We'll put our power back in so we don't slow down too much. Okay, there comes 10,000. Altitude hold. And heading hold, I guess. Could we do nav? Not yet, for sure. I don't know why it doesn't have our, there we go. Gotta watch our throttle here too, once we get leveled out. Oh, did you go back and watch it? Okay, my flight plan's not working for some reason. We never got past this waypoint. Okay, now we can go nav. I wish this didn't light up every time you move your mouse. Like, if I put my mouse all the way on the top, okay, then light up or something. All right, let's start working on our approach. think BIRK is where we're going. Runway 19. What? BIRK? Stars? I think we're coming in this way. So it's Rekno, Turtu, Kusur, and then into runway 19, we hope. It's going to be very hard to see. Okay, so we do have vertical guidance here. Technically, we need to be about 5,200 here. We've got 10,000 feet. At Turtu, we need to be above 5,000. We've got 6,666. And then 5,000, 3,600. Final approach fixed, 2,800. And yeah. Technically, we can dial it all the way down to 2,800, I think. And then we want to arm VNav right there. And then approach was runway 19, and I cannot remember which one. Approach. Let's check them out here. ILS, Zulu, or Yankee. So that's a Yankee, and that's a Zulu. Let's do the Zulu. Okay, and then we want, it's not one of the choices. Lusug, I guess, or Kusur, right? That was the one. Minimums. I think in this plane we're category A, ABC 229. So So 2-3. And then we can load that. Not approved for GPS. We're going to be on the ILS. And we said we're doing Zulu. Course is 187. And BIRK is 109.9. So we're going to make sure we've got, interestingly, 109.9 is here. So it's already loaded in both. 109.9, probably when we loaded in the procedure. We might additionally want to see if there's any other nav aids that we want to get dialed in here. I don't see any. I sometimes like to set up a secondary BIAR if I can find one. Sometimes they're on here and not on our map. It's got recommended altitudes by DME. So let's go ahead and get this set up. Do is set up our instruments a little better. Nope, not that one. DME. So once this comes up, it'll give us distance. We've already got our winds set up for crosswinds. I think it's 29.92 because we're on snow, right? Our ground speed's 170 knots, so we're booking it. Up to 10,000 feet. We'll go and get some oxygen on. Been up here a while. Okay. Let's go ahead and get into a real cruise. We probably should have done this earlier. Let's go for 2,000 RPM. That's right here. I'm just going to pull that RPM lever out a little. Our torque and ITT is looking good. We can actually punch that up a little if we want. Actually, we cannot. That is max throttle. Because we're up at 10,000 feet. Alright, fuel check. Fuel looks good. above the clouds, nice. Okay. So we've got our DME up. Can always... Sometimes I like to put these up like this. We'll get our landing light off. And we're out of the ice for now also, so we will turn those off. Alright, let's... see if we can brutalize Reykjavik. That's where we're flying into. Heavy clouds and snow. Okay, I almost forgot I got a thing tonight. Got a while though. Alright, how far are we away here? Okay, so what? 25 nautical miles to here. How far it is to that one. I wish this had the summary flight plan at the bottom like some of them. Why does it say BIRK here? We don't want that. That needs to get deleted. Okay, enter. That's better. Now it's doing the right thing. It looked weird before, I wasn't sure why. Got a better descent profile now as well. So we're 9 minutes from top of descent. Change. We've been creeping up in speed here, slowly. Is that not working? Huh. So much brighter colors. So what are you flying tonight, David? You should jump on Discord audio and chat more real time. Okay, so on missed approach, we will climb along 187 to 800 feet, then turn right, staying under 240 knots, not a problem in this plane. On to 322, climbing to 3,600 feet, and then expect radar vectoring. No turn before the missed approach point. Airport elevation is 45 feet, runway is 29 feet. Platform altitude of 2,800 feet, which we already have. Oh, I didn't know you could turn it. Weird. Yeah, so 2,800 feet. We should intercept the ILS. Minimum's 230. It's funny, it's 229 or 230. Come on, let's make it 230 for everyone. Missed approach is 0.8 nautical miles from the threshold. So we shouldn't descend below 230 feet until we have runway in sight. Nautical miles from the runway, we should call a missed approach. All right, we're starting our turn here. Seven and a half nautical miles from top of descent, at which point we'll want to get a little bit of power out. Okay. Let's go ahead and slow down a little. Maybe. I hope they do one more round of bug fixes on this plane before too long. I'd really like to see the flight plan integration beefed up a little bit. Need to get a little more power out before we get over speed there. So should I hand fly this or should I autopilot it until we get on the final? I'll probably get us killed if I hand fly it, but it's a little more exciting that way. I'm surprised we haven't descended into the clouds yet. It's been way above the clouds. It looks like there's this hill right in front of us that we zig around here instead of just going straight in. There we go. Oh, how'd that go? Any problems? Okay. I want to start getting some flaps down. Descending nicely. Into the clouds we go. Okay, second notch of flaps. 20 degrees. Now we're going to add a little power. To 100 seems to be a good approach speed. Be a little faster, a little slower. Is it still doing that? So now we're going to descend to 3,600 feet-ish. I guess I'll try to hand fly here. Okay. I will look out for that. So I'm going to fly the final, but I'm going to let it make this next turn. I'm going to go ahead and get last notch of flaps. Comes full flaps and add a little bit of power for now. Oh, you know what we need to do is get our anti-ice back on. Oxygen can come off now. gonna we're gonna trigger approach mode. Maybe. One thing you can do, as long as you're below the glide slope, you can actually bring this altitude up. So I'm going to bring it up to 3,400, which is about where I am. That's going to pause our B-path descent. And our glide slope is coming in here. Now, if we go all the way down to 2,800, we would intercept the glide slope about at this point. The problem is, you really either want to get down to 2,800 faster and plateau out there, or stay higher and intercept the glide slope a little earlier. I'm opting for staying higher, finding the glide slope, or in this case glide, well, it says GS. No, this is an ILS approach, so glide slope. So yes, we will follow the glide slope. Okay, so we're holding right now at 3,400. Once it locks on, we'll need to get some power out, because first of all, we want to slow down to our final approach speed of about 65 knots. It says 60, but I don't know if I trust it right now with snow. Although winds are low, so we could try to get it down. Okay. So now as the nose drops, I want to pull that power out. Otherwise, I'll speed way up. Back in. So we've got a 4 or 5 knot crosswind. Why do we not have flight director? That's annoying. Why are we picking up so much speed all of a sudden? Okay, we're a little below the glide slope. We're losing the localizer too. Descending too fast, need to add a little power. And we We are way off. Why are we turning so hard to the right? I've been like turning right. I mean, we're off to the left, but I keep turning right. A little more power. We're way low, so we're gonna have to add a lot of power. And again, my nose is being, like I'm being, it says it's a 5-knot wind, but it's feeling more like a 20-knot wind here. Like, come on. There's potentially a thing. Let's see how it holds. Adding a little power because the speed's dropping too much as we're trying to get back on the glide slope here. We're a little low still. Again, it's just blowing my nose to the left like crazy. I mean, I get it's a 5-knot wind, but come on. Okay, there's our... right, but I think we're going to drift to the left again, so. Starting to come out. I'm starting to see some ground. We're way high. I see the runway clearly. We are saved. Okay, we're getting real fast, so I'll ease the power out. Push a little more power in. We are high, but we're still pretty far out, so I'm not too worried about that.
500.
Trying to side slip into that wind to counteract it. Getting a slideshow there. making it really hard to do it. Don't normally get a slideshow. How are we doing on throttle? Okay. That doesn't work. So my reverse throttle is not working right now. Not the right way anyway. This is something I would like for them to fix. There is no way this plane will get up to like 50, 60 knots just on idle power. I don't think in real life it will do that. In real life, furthermore, I've seen them do it. You put it a little bit into beta and you set a taxi power. This plane is just virtually impossible to set taxi power in. It's like you're either flying forward out of control or you are going in reverse. There's no like you're close to reversing the prop. It's just all or nothing. Okay. Let's see if we can fix our reverse. I had everything working, and then I was trying to make a separate profile, and I went in and I did copy profile, and when I did it, I created a new one and I gave it a new name, and then when I went back out, it had modified my first one. So now this one's gonna be all broken with whatever. Yeah, I know you suck. Your servers are terrible. So let's see if we can remember how to do this. I guess I should have exported it or something. I don't know. Well, actually, I think that does work. Okay, that's button 24. Is that this one? Nope, that's button 9. That's 24, okay. That's not working. I think maybe that's not right. Which one's 9? Okay, that one's 9. So 9 I want. I don't think I want the other one. Unless I do. Maybe I was doing that in combination with that. So, yes, full reverse thrust. That's how I had it. this to work either. Controls. I wish you could, like, if I move the physical controls here, it'll find them. I wish I could move the controls in the plane and it would tell me exactly what the mapping is, or if there isn't any. But like, I can't figure out how to make the prop go like full feathered. Maybe I should say, well, let's. No. Okay. So I don't want that one. That's not the one I want. I could maybe do that one. So toggle it once. Oh, you can't split it. Problem is these don't work for toggle doesn't work. It needs to be the set version. And they don't have it. I'm trying to see if there's an example. But like set condition lever. But they don't have set prop reverse. Could maybe do. And see so maybe if we do this one here and decrease pitch to, kind of want to put these over here just so that it's the left and the right. And that should still be inverted. And this one, yeah, so I can't get that blue one to go down any further than that. Settings, controls, keyboard. This is way too slow too. It makes it so painful to go back and forth. I wish you could just have this open in another window and work on the settings while you're in the game. Power management, propeller. So we can try G. That's really all it offers us, huh? I'm just gonna do it. G, 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 G. Yeah, even G is not going any further back. Prop. Okay, so these aren't working. I guess I could try this one. Yeah, no, not doing anything. Oh, there it went. Okay, so what, with this setup, what I have to do is, so this is normal, all the way back, down, out of detent. Okay, down, out of detent. Nope. See, it's so unreliable. There it went. I was doing the same motion over and over. It worked that last time. It's just so unreliable. I'd be fine with that if it would actually work. Need to make it not so annoying when you're just shutting down. All right, well, I gotta go get ready for some work stuff. Have you heard of Murderbot? Or the Murderbot Diaries? Okay, so Murderbot is a book, a series of short books. It starts with one called All Systems Red. Murderbot is kind of an ironic name that gets explained within the book. The audiobook is great. The narrator just kind of nails the right vocal expression for Murderbot. So if you like audiobooks, I highly recommend the audiobook version. It is also coming out on Apple TV. And there's the preview if you want to see it. Now, I do not, so far this preview is a little off from what I would have expected, the way the book is. But we'll see. I mean, previews are not always the same as the real thing. That was some exciting IFR flying. Oh, look, a little hole in the clouds. I should have made the weather clear en route so we could have seen Iceland. The mountains and stuff are always pretty. Cool. All right, well, you have a great evening. Have fun in, can't remember the name of it, City Skylines. I will catch you later. Adios.